Hi, welcome to the video on stripping down a gearbox from an A+ A Series engine. This one's been pulled from a Metro Mark II, 1989-1990. The block from the engine has been stripped down, cleaned and machined out to 1310, and got the crankshaft ground down and balanced. I've got an ultralight flywheel and competition clutch assembly to go in there, and the whole crank assembly has been, as I said, balanced along with the pulley. We're going to strip down this gearbox. Not touched it since I've taken it off from the engine. All I've done is cleaned out, drained the oil, obviously drained the oil from the engine, and cleaned out the dregs of the oil down the bottom of the sump. I'm going to strip the gearbox down, inspect it, clean the parts, and see what we can reuse and see what we need to replace. Probably be using a mini spares gearbox rebuild kit, which comes with new bearings, RHP bearings, which I believe are the good quality ones. We're going to check the diff. Hopefully it's a 3.44 diff on this. The engine ID plate was not particularly easy to read because it's been quite rusted. It's either a 3.44 or a 2.65. If it's 2.65, we're going to have to change the crown wheel and the pinion. We may be putting in a central oil pickup, but it's not essential. This is just a fast road engine. It's not a racing machine. And we'll be putting in a uprated cross pin for the diff. Cross pin. Be putting in an uprated pin for the diff. We won't be going for a cross pin diff because of the cost. So we'll do the video. Most of it being time lapse, and we'll see how we get on. Okay, that's all the bolts out of the Speedo drive housing, and what I'm probably going to do is put them in a bag and label it up as Speedo drive housing bolts. There's the Speedo drive pin, and I'd already taken out the worm drive that sits in here. The cable was rusted into it, but I managed to get that out. As we've been moving this around, there's still quite a bit of oil in there, to be honest. It's probably come out of the diff. I would suspect, as I tipped it over. Having trouble getting this off. I don't want to get a screwdriver in there. So what I'm going to use is a wallpaper scraper and get it in at the right angle. Just get it on the gasket and just gently tap it with my trusty nylon hammer without damaging any of the aluminium. Okay, yeah, the wallpaper scraper did the trick. What you got to watch out for though, and I didn't realise, but I was really careful when I did it, is there are a couple of dowel pins holding the housing in the correct location, and obviously you ain't going to go through them with a decorator's wallpaper scraper, so just be careful when tapping it off, and you don't want to damage anything because you don't have to buy a new part to replace it. I'd also forgotten to take off the inner CV pot joint. These have been off before though, I seem to recall. I must have put them back on when we took the engine out to stop the oil pouring out everywhere. Out the diff, obviously I had to take that off to get a good angle with the wallpaper scraper. So, okay, that's off. Let's crack on. Okay, first part of taking the diff off is obviously once you take the pot joints off, you've got to take the output housings off. So undo the bolts, there's no lock tabs. I've just noticed there's a bolt missing from this one, which is on the exhaust bracket. I must have taken that off when we took the exhaust off to get the engine off. Some of these are quite tough, so I've got a small breaker bar. I do have a large 1 meter one, but a small one, and then just give it a get it onto tightness and just give it a tap. I'd already loosened that one, and then undo them. The rest of them needed about the same. Okay, so I've got all the bolts out of the diff output housings, and I've started to have a go at taking the right hand one off using the wallpaper scraper. However, there's not a great deal of gasket in this, quite thin, and I seem to recall the distance of these possibly is quite crucial. So I'm just going to remind myself by watching another video or doing some reading, just to make sure I don't do any damage when I take these off. I do have new ones to replace with these, which I picked up from an auto jumble at Castle Combe mini action day. But you know, if I can reuse them, I will. The right hand one's a bit battered when we took the CV joints off to get the engine out, which is why I bought the replacement ones. Okay, so I've read the video, and no, it's just a gasket. Read the video, watch the video. Watch the video, it's just a gasket behind there. So on this side, you've got a nice gap there, so just got the wallpaper scraper in there, just behind, gently, just tap, 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 and worked it off, and that one's come out. And I'll have a go at doing the other side. The overhang on the other side, because these are interchangeable, so the overhang on this side is at the top, the overhang on the other side is at the bottom. So I'm just going to tip the gearbox up onto its side, and then I'll be able to have a go at that one. I lie like a cheap nappy watch. There is no overhang on this one. They are interchangeable, but the shape of the diff on this side is slightly different. Hence the reason why there's an overhang on this side but not on this side. Same deal though, got the wallpaper scraper into a slight overhang on one side, giving it a tap, and it will come out nicely, and off it comes. Job done. Okay, just watched the Classic Mini DIY video, and reminded myself there's a spring here, detent spring. That's got to come out, and got to look after that, retain it. And there's also a little ball in there, which if I tip the gearbox up, it might drop out. Otherwise, you need a magnet, which I don't have. Okay, got the ball out. Remember, one of my positive drive screwdrivers was a little bit magnetic. Popped it in there, and out it comes. Okay, next job is to knock down the lock tabs on these bolts. These will be getting replaced, and then take off the diff itself.